My name is Michael Mullen from Carmel, Indiana. I am part of I'm on the board of directors as well as the executive committee and the research committee. What brought me here today was my son, who is now 21, has been affected with rheumatoid and have been going to the conferences since 2012, starting in Boston. My son came to his diagnosis by a random test. My younger son had a lazy eye, and we went to go see a pediatric ophthalmologist who came up with that he just needed glasses to correct his vision. And I said, well, why don't you go ahead and check my other son while we're here? She dilated his eyes, and once she looked through the lens, kind of almost fell off her chair. And I said, what is it? And she says, I don't know. So it's a random, it's not in the family. It was a random mutation. So lucky him that he was found that out. My son was diagnosed when he was roughly 9 years old, and that was in 2010. Yeah, when we found out, it was the diagnosis. We were sent to a retina specialist because she was again a 30-year pediatric ophthalmologist and had no idea. So she sent us to a retina specialist, and the retina specialist ran some tests, so forth, and determined what he thought it was. And I said, well, what does that mean? And he said, well, I don't think your son's ever going to drive a car. And so then I fell off the chair. And so there, just started doing research. We were sent to Dr. Hecken Lively at the University of Michigan or Ann Arbor, and came up with the diagnosis at that time. And so obviously I just got online and Googled everything I could and found Foundation. And unfortunately my first call was to Corey, and I'm still involved. So that's how I attended the conference, and I've attended every conference since 2012, and then just trying to get involved, do as much as I can. The conference experience I would encourage for anyone that knows someone's affected, their child, their spouse, whoever may be affected. It's obviously a good learning experience, and the conferences, I think, turn more into a family event. Once you come back, everybody's your family, and so it's just nice to be able to go through or lean on what everybody else is going through. The people that are involved, that are putting their time in. Mine's a little different. I'm a parent, so not necessarily, I feel an obligation to be involved to a certain extent, but I know other people that are affected, that are spending their evenings, their time, and we're on conference calls, we're on meetings, we're emails, tracking. It's a pretty incredible foundation for everybody that's involved. I think we've brought on more and more people. Obviously, I got, even with Randy Wheelock, has obviously been a big impact on me, and just what he did. I mean, he dropped everything for his son, and really just that's all he focused on. And we are where we're at today a lot because of Randy. And so, we're obviously raising money, and we have a team of people that makes decisions where that money can be allocated to have the best resources available. As far as the future, that's a tough question, especially as a parent. Now that my son is 21, I attended the first conference, and there was a lot of excited people about because we were starting maybe a clinical trial at that time, and so everything was going to be better the next day. Well, here we are 10 years later, and we've made a lot of progress. Obviously, it's never fast enough as a parent, or even, I assume, if you're affected, it's a very difficult situation. So I think there's hope. and all we can do is keep working. My son's vision is he still has trouble seeing at night, night visions. He walks around with a cell phone with light. Outside of that, he's driving. I'm just trying to make his life as a normal child. I kind of went. There's obviously I attend these conferences and everybody has an opinion, which is great. I think you just have to do what's best for your situation. Um, I tried to give as little information to him when he at age 9 or 10, and just tell him he had an eye problem and wear a hat and sunglasses and here's some vitamins to take. But so I've tried to keep it at that just to give him a normal childhood because that's all you can do. What I would tell a new person or a parent that has just found out would be to get involved and as much as you can. I think that's almost therapy in itself is, being on a conference call, doing some research, doing some volunteering, doing some fundraising. Doesn't have to be your child or yourself, doesn't have to be the forefront of it, but anything you can do to help, stuffing envelopes, whatever, to send out letters, anything along those lines I think is a benefit. Finding out that your child is affected, I think, is so important. Just to have the child can't do anything, a parent can't do anything about what they have, and so giving them just a normal, healthy life and treating them as such, and there's only a few of my close friends and family really know about my son's condition. I just came to the point where I didn't want the little league to know that he had this and he was going to be out, put in a position where somebody's going to treat him differently than someone else. So whether right or wrong, that's the way I've gone about it. I would just say to the foundation, let's keep moving forward and keep pushing and let's get another 10 Randy Wheelocks so we can make some big headways.